Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rashita, and I am a first year student at GCET. Today, I got the pleasure to introduce our special guest for the webinar on cybersecurity and ethical hacking, Mayur Parmar. Mayur Parmar sir has acquired his skills by pursuing his master's in digital forensic and information security from the National Forensic Sciences University, Gujarat. On the work front, Mayur has so far reported more than 200 bugs and helped to secure organizations such as Apple, Oyo, Lenskart, Department of Defense's US Army, Oneplus, etc. He is currently working as an independent security researcher. He has also been invited as a speaker on many platforms. We will have around 1 hour session with him where he will be discussing more on cybersecurity and ethical hacking and his life experiences so far. At the end of the session, he will be open to all your doubts and questions. You can either drop down your messages on chat box or can directly ask by turning on your mic turn by turn. So let's get started. Over to you, Mayur sir.
Okay, thank you, Roshita, for the introduction. Okay, just a second. Okay, just confirm if my voice is audible to you or not.
Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the cybersecurity fundamentals and the cybersecurity journey and about the cybersecurity rules and all kind of things. So before starting the cybersecurity webinar, so let me first start with my own story that how I get started into cybersecurity. So when I was in my school time, so at that time at my home, we are using a cable TV. So at that time, my family background is not that much stable, so we can afford that uh, paid dish. So at that time, we are using that free dish, and with the help of that free dish, I did some tempering and all. And I'm able to watch some of the premium channels such as Star Plus, ZTV. So that was my first life hack. And at that time, I didn't even know what is the ethical hacking, what is the cyber security. So that was my first life hack. And I guess in the 2012, I bought my first Android phone. So with that Android phone, so at that time also that this Wi-Fi and all at that time it was that much too costly. So at that time I was curious that how we can get this Wi-Fi and all the things for free. So at that time I use some of the free resources from the Google and learn how to hack the Wi-Fi. So at that time, I hacked some of the Wi-Fi from railway station uh, and of my neighbor and all. So this is how I learn how I get entered into the cybersecurity. Uh, then then I try to learning some of the different concept that how to root the phone, how to change the font in the mobile application, how to hack the coins in the game, such as like when back in 2012 or 14 at that time most of the people are just playing the games such as Candy Crush, Subway Surfers and all. So at that time these games are very famous. So at that time uh, I did some hacking and I just increased the coin. So that was also a good hack. And when I joined my master's degree in Gujarat Forensic Science University, then I came to know that what are the other domains are there in this particular field. So at that time, I just learned how to hack the website, how to protect them, how to report the vulnerability, how to fix them, and all. So this is how my journey got started into cybersecurity. Okay, so now let's start the main webinar. So let's start with the general definition of cybersecurity. So the cybersecurity is the practice of protecting system, network, and program from the digital attacks. So these all are the things that we are protecting in the cybersecurity. But this is not limited to this. We can protect our mobile devices, laptop, website. It can be anything which holds the data that needs to be secured. That is covered in the cybersecurity. Okay. Then in cybersecurity, we have three types of hacker. So the first one, the white hat hacker, which is called legal hackers. which is so they are mostly working for the government agencies, corporate companies. So they do not do any kind of illegal stuff such as destroying someone's data like that. And second, we have a gray hat hacker. So the gray hat hacker is mixture of white hat hacker and black hat hacker. So might be in the daytime they are working for any company, and in the nighttime might be they are doing some illegal work. So we cannot predict for gray hat hacker that they are doing illegal or you know good things. And for the black attackers, so mostly they are doing the illegal stuff such as spreading ransomware, damaging someone's data. So I guess if you are reading a newspaper dailies, or if you are aware of the cybersecurity website, so you might be know that in most of the Windows PC uh, they are spreading the ransomware kind of software, or they are just installing the malicious software. So if you install those software, so you might be lose your data, or your whole computer get destroyed or encrypted with some of the extensions, right? So this kind of stuff that those black hat hackers guys will do. So, as I know that you all are currently doing your bachelor's degree, so today I am going to discuss about this thing called bug bounty. So, why I'm talking about bug bounty? Because when we are studying our bachelor's degree or master's degree, so at that time we do not have any particular income source, so we can uh, that will be helpful in our study. We have to borrow money from our parents and all. So at that time this bug bounty thing will help you. Why? Because in bug bounty you can do in your spare time also, like after your college hours and all, right? So that's why I'm plan to discuss this thing. Okay, so let's start with this topic, bug bounty. So what is bug bounty? So the bug bounty is a practice where you get bounty by reporting bugs. So in this case, whenever you report any bugs, at that time the organization will give you any kind of bounty. So bounty is nothing, it's just a reward. So reward can be anything. So it can be a simple swags. So swag can be t-shirt, pen, or anything. So sometimes they will also give you simple things, sometimes they will give you monetary reward. So now it is also a trending thing, like most of the people are doing a freelancing and they are earning a good amount of money by using this, by doing the bug bounty only. So yes, this will be very helpful. Okay, so now you might be thinking that why bug bounty is necessary for any company or any of the websites. So these all are the reason. So the first one is a lace hacks and breaches. So whenever the research security researcher will report any kind of bugs, so they or that organization will fix those vulnerabilities in very less time. So that's why they are very less hacks and breaches. Then better and more secure applications and services. Then after we have a faster security implementation. Then after more researcher, more experience, and more bugs. So yes, this bug bounty is done. Anyone can did this bug bounty. Like if you are a working professional, if you are a student, or you are just a normal person that having a basic knowledge of cybersecurity, so anyone can do. And there are no specific skill set required or any kind of degree required. So people around from the world, they can do the testing of the web application, and they can report the bugs. And this will be direct benefits to organization only, because uh, all the people have a different mindset. Like I have a specific skill set and the other person have different skill sets. So whatever the bug I found, so might be the other person will found some other bugs like that only. So yes, this will be ultimately benefit to the organization only. Okay, now let's talk about the general difference of pen testing and bug bounty. So these two are the different things. Like the pen testing will be happen in the organization level, and the bug bounty is just like a freelancing work only. So let's talk about all the key points. So the first one will be the scope only. Like whenever we are doing a pen testing or in any of the company, so the scope should be limited. Like they will just give you one website or one particular assets. But in the bug bounty, sometimes you have wider scope. Like sometimes you will see that star.apc.com. So at that time, what you can do, you can test any of the subdomain. So this is the benefit of bug bounty. Then after duration, so in the corporate industry, mostly you will get a 2 to 3 days to test all of their domains or whatever the scope they have provide. But in the bug bounty, they do not have any kind of time limitation. Like if you feel that I want to do a testing of web application at the 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. So anytime you can do. So there is no limitation of timing. Then after cost, so in the corporate industry, they will mostly consult some third-party organization. So in the worldwide, there are mostly consultants are well-known consultancies are there such as EY, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC. These are the big companies that are famous for the this consultancy part. So most of the companies are doing their security testing from these companies only. So yes, they will also charge a big amount of money, such as 4 to 5 lakhs. It depends on the project. But in bug bounty, they will mostly pay if the bug is valid. So if the bug is valid, then only they will pay the money. So if the bug is duplicate or if it is reported by another researcher previously, so they will not pay the bugs. So that is the difference between this pen testing and bug bounty. Then after in pen testing, mostly you have to work alone or sometimes in a team. But in the bug bounty, most of people from around the world they will participate. Sometimes you will also have a chance to collaborate with some other ethical hackers or security researchers. So you can also collaborate with them, right? Sometimes if you found that I found this vulnerability, but I'm not able to escalate more. So sometimes you can just ask to another person that I just found this vulnerability and just help me out with this. So you can also just split the or whatever the amount you are getting, right? Then after in pen testing, it's a one-time testing. Sometimes they will also do the quarterly testing or sometime in 3 months, 6 months. It depends on the company. But in bug bounty, it's a continuous testing. Like they have a 1 or 2 year project. So at that time, all the day, all the researcher can test their assets. Okay, now you might be thinking that Mayur, what are the prerequisites that we need to learn to get started into the bug bounty? So first you have to learn the basics of Linux command and a web application. So first you have to learn what are the Linux command is that because in this for this bug bounty we're mostly using the Linux operating system such as the Kali Linux, Pirate OS, Ubuntu like that. So yes, the Linux commands is necessary, and also learn that how web application will work, how to build a web application using a different languages. So first learn uh, this one only. Just a second. Okay. Okay, so yes, so learn how to build a web application. How then if you are able to learn that how to build web application, then only you know that how to break that web application. Because nowadays I am seeing that most of the people who doesn't have a programming language, they are getting entered into the bug bounty, and whenever the organization will ask that how to fix this vulnerability, they do not know anything, right? So yes, that's why I suggest you to go with this thing only, step by step process. Then after learn networking part, then after operating system. So for operating system you can use any operating system, but I suggest you to go with the Linux only because most of the uh, tools are made for Linux operating system only. If you want to configure in Windows, you can, but it is a bit difficult task for you. Then after programming languages, so you can learn programming languages such as a Python, PHP, Bash scripting. So nowadays, Bash scripting is currently trending for automating some of the tasks. So yes, you can learn it. Okay, then after this, all are the some of the basic definition that you will encounter in your day-to-day pen testing and all. So it can be a threat, vulnerability, exploit, and POC. So let's talk about threats. So threat can be anything that can take advantage of a vulnerability to breach security and negatively. So with the help of threat, they can alter, erase, and harm any of the assets such as a web application, Android application, or it can be any assets, right? Then after exploit, so what is exploit? To use something to take owns advantage. So sometimes if any of the person will found some of the vulnerability that will disclose some of the sensitive information from web applications such as credit card information, username, password, or anything. So sometimes the black attackers will also take an advantage. They can just dump whole the database and they can just sell it to on the dark web or any third party person, right? Then after POC, so POC is nothing, just a report only, but in bug bounty we call it as a proof of concept. Okay. Then after programs and platforms, so generally we have three types of programs and platforms. So the first one will be the private. So for this one, you need an invitation, right? This is the invitation based program. So for that we have platforms such as Synack, Cobalt, and Yogosha. And for that they will give you some technical assessment, which mostly the CTF only. So at that time they will give you some vulnerable application or some live web application, and they will tell you just test this asset and prepare one detailed report and send to us. We will validate and we will let you know if you are qualified or not. Then after we have public programs such as a public platforms such as a HackerOne, Crowd, Integrity, Yes We Hack, etc. So for public platforms, you can directly go to that platform and you can just register it and start doing the testing. That's it. Then after we have a self-hosted program which is called VDP. So these all are the independent programs. So some website have an independent program which is not hosted on any of the platforms, right? So you can find those programs using Google Docs only. So I will show you that thing, that how you can find those programs. Okay. Then after every platforms have a point system. So the points can be determined using the severity level. So we have a P1 to P5 level severity level. So for P1, it's a critical one. So it depends on the vulnerability, which kind of vulnerabilities they have found. Like sometimes if they are able to gain a RCE on the website, so at that time it's a very critical. It depends on the website to website, and sometimes if the researcher researcher will found some of the some it is disclosing some headers like that only. So at that time, and that doesn't have that much impact on the website. So at that time they will mark as a information or something. That's a P5 only. So mostly for P5, they do not give you anything. Mostly for P1 and P4, P1 to P4 severity level vulnerabilities, they will give you some rewards. It depends on the program to program. Like some programs will give you points, some programs will give you the rewards. So this is the general. This is for one of the programs. So you can see for the P1 severity, they are giving $5,000 to $10,000 reward, and for P5, you can see $200 to $600 reward. Right. Okay. Then after, let's talk about the submission process. Okay. So this submission process is for registered hack, but this will be applicable for all kind of programs and platforms. So first, let's start with a new report. So whenever you will submit a report, so it will be under review. So then the triager will come and they will validate your report. So if it's a duplicate or non-valid, so let me tell you what is duplicate. So duplicate is nothing but it is previously reported by any other researcher. So at that time they will mark your submission as a duplicate one only. But yes, some programs or platforms will give you some kind of points to appreciate your efforts. So yes, in that we have a different status. So the first one is a duplicate one only. Then after we have not applicable. So for not applicable, they will detect the points. Then after we have a invalid, out of scope. So yes, whenever you are doing the testing, so first you have to read their scope. So what is scope? So in the scope, they will mention that these all are the domains are required to test, and these all are the vulnerability that is previously known by us, or we do not require to test this vulnerability on our assets. So if you just broke those rules, so they will also detect your points, and sometimes they will also or take legal actions against you. So you have to take care about this thing. You can say for duplicates, spam, and RTFS. And let's talk about the valid one. So if you reported any bug, and they will mark that report as a valid one only. So at that time they will mark as a accepted. Sometimes they will mark as a triage only. So all the platforms have a different kind of status. Okay. So if they accepted your vulnerability, then after they will give you a reward. So the reward can be points or in a t-shirt or monetary reward. So then after they will forward your report to the development team. So after fixing the vulnerability, they will ask you for the verification that Mayur or any of the researcher that just check if the vulnerability is fixed or not. So if you give the confirmation that yes, team, the vulnerability is already fixed and I have verified, then they will mark your report as a resolved one only. So for resolved one only, some platforms will give you some points. Okay, so it depends on platform to platform. Okay, then after let's talk about the resources. What are the resources that you can follow? So the most important resource is the OWASP testing guide. So the OWASP testing guide will help you to learn all kind of vulnerability, how to find them, what are the tools that you can use and all. And we have one more book called Web Application Hackers Handbook. So this is also a well-known book to learn the web application pen testing. So in this book, they will teach you the fundamental thing that what are the things that you have to learn before starting testing and all. You can also refer this book called Web Hacking 101, Zisano Methodology. Then after some people will think that Mayur, I don't like to read books. What are the other alternate resource that I can follow? So for that you can also read a blogs from the medium.com. We have one more resource called pentester.land, as well as you can also go to this repository to learn or to get all the information about the resources. And you can also use the Google, like just type it out that I want to learn about the XSS vulnerability, remote code execution, or any kind of security topic. You will get many of the resources. And one more resource is there called hacking articles. So hacking articles is also a good resource to learn the cybersecurity topics. Okay, so then after let's talk about the OWASP top 10. So let me tell you what is the OWASP top 10. So mostly this foundation called OWASP, which after every 3 to 4 years, they will release one top 10 list that will cover the top 10 vulnerability, which is found in that 3 to 4 years. So you can see this list is for 2017 and 2021. So there are 3 to 4 vulnerabilities just change, and sometimes they will also add some of the new vulnerabilities if it is found many times in the web application. Like for API also, mobile application also, they have a different list. This is for the web application. So you can see the list like broken access control is there, cryptographic failures. So these all are the list. So whenever you are doing testing, you have to refer this list, right? Okay. Then after operating system and tools. So these all are the operating system and tools you can use to test those vulnerabilities such as Kali Linux, Ubuntu, ParaTOS, Ubuntu. So this operating system is made for the bug bounty, which have all the bug bounty tools pre-installed, and these all are the tools that I am using in my day-to-day pen testing and bug bounty. So the most important tool is the Bub Suite. So yes, you can use the Bub Suite, and yes, in Bub Suite also we have a three kind of variant. So the first one is the community edition, which is available for free, and we have two more variants, which is the paid one only. But if you want an alternative option, you can also go with the OWASP Zap. So OWASP Zap is an open source tool only, so you can also use. Then after we have nmap automator SQL map to find the SQL injection vulnerability. Then after for directory brute forcing, we have AMAS, FF, Nuclei, Nikto, and WAPT. So there are many tools are available. These all are the tools that I am using. Okay. Okay. Then after let's talk about the reporting part, that how you can make the reports. So for that you can go to this website. So let me show you. let me show you channel templates. So this is the general vulnerability report template. So first you have to write the vulnerability name. Then after you can write the vulnerability description. So here you can write your own if you want, or otherwise you can also copy it from Google. Then after you have to write the steps to reproduce. So here you have to write all the steps, that what are the steps our developer team have to perform to reproduce this vulnerability. Then after, for proof of concept, you can use either you can attach the screenshots or you can make a video POC, right? So better to make a video POC because it is, it will help the developers to clearly understand the vulnerability what you are trying to tell them, right? Then after you have to put the impact that what attacker can do if they if they can exploit the vulnerability. Then after you can also put the attacker scenario, that you can put that how this vulnerability will be exploited in the real world scenario. Then after, if you know the remediation part, that how to mitigate this vulnerability, so you can also put this thing. So sometimes it will also help the developers to fix those vulnerability in very less time. So sometimes for that they will also give you some extra bonus, right? Because it will save their time, right? Okay. So this is also one of the good resource to get the checklist and all. Okay, then after let's talk about the advantages for researchers. So what are the advantages that you have if you do the bug bounty? So the first one, values of your resume. Like when you do the bug bounty, you will get appreciation from the website or organization. So those things also you can put in your resume, that I have got appreciation later or appreciation from this company. So you can put this thing in your resume, so it will create a very good impact in your resume. Okay, then after, increased possibility of getting a job in the industry. So nowadays most of the companies are putting this bug bounty in their job description as additional skills. So if you have bug bounty experience, so they will hire you. Like in my case, if I talk about my case, yes, I also got a job due to this bug bounty only, because I previously I was doing a full-time bug bounty. Okay, then opportunity to make money on your spare time. Like if you are currently doing your bachelor's degree, so in your spare time you can also uh, earn some good money, and you can also you can also use those money on your studies, on your extra expenses. Then after, glory and fame. So sometimes if you are targeting any of the big organizations such as Google, Microsoft, or anything, and if you found some critical vulnerabilities, so at that time some of the newspapers and news channels will also cover you. So at that time it will also give you a very good reputation in your college also. Then after, last but not the least, you will get a knowledge, right? Because if you hack any of the website which you do not have any permission, so at that time they will also take a legal action. But in the bug bounty, you have a legal permission, because most of the time they will have a responsible disclosure page and they have a bug bounty program. So yes, you have a legal permission, so you can test those things legally. So by that way, you will get a knowledge that how to test the website, how to how to report the bugs and all kind of thing. So the same kind of procedure will we will follow in the companies also. So yes, this is a good opportunity to gain the knowledge. Okay, then after certification part, so as a beginner, you have seen in many of the companies' job description that they require a person having a CS certification, OSCP, or any kind of relevant certification, right? So these all are the certification that you can pursue as a beginner. So I suggest you to go with the EJPT only. So the EJPT is a beginner-friendly cybersecurity certification which will give you the penetration testing. Okay, and for that they will cost you around 15,000 Indian rupees. So and for the training part, they are giving a free training on the platform called ini.com. So just visit that website and just took this training, and you can just buy the voucher and take the exam. Okay. Then after you can also go for the advanced level certifications such as the OSCP, EWPT, ECPPT, right? So it totally depends upon you. Okay. Then after labs, so for learning web application attack, you can use these resources. So these two are the free resources, which is the Portswigger Academy, Application.Security. And if you want to go with the paid resources, so you can go with the Pentest Lab and bountyhunter.com. Okay, then after job opportunities, so what are the job opportunities that you have if you learn the bug bounty? So you can apply for the role for a security analyst, penetration tester, bounty hunter, security architect, application security engineer. Okay, so in the cybersecurity, we have two types of companies. So the first one is a product-based company, and the second one is a consultancy-based company. So for the that product-based companies have an advantage, like they are building the product, they are building their own products. So you have advantage that you can taste those products and you can just report them directly. And in most of the product companies, you have a very less workload. So always try to get into the product-based companies firstly. Okay. Then after for finding the jobs, you can use these portals called jobs.null.community, and you can also search for the jobs using the platform called linkedin.com. So linkedin.com is also very helpful. So recently I switched my career to one of the company. So I found that job using the LinkedIn only. So yes, LinkedIn is a good resource to find the jobs as a beginner and as a experienced candidate also. Okay. It is work for both. So these all are the skills that are required. So the first one, you have to good at the communication skills. You have to work in a team. You have a solving skills, as well as learn the programming, learn the ethical hacking concept. Just try to learn risk analysis, learn about networking protocols, how intrusion detection work. Then after scripting part, because sometimes you require to automate some of the tasks. At that time, the scripting knowledge will help you to save your time. Okay, then after let's talk about the CTF part. So the CTF stands for capture the flag. So in our normal life also we are playing a CTF. So but that's a different game. So let me tell you one of the story. So previous, I guess, 5 to 10 years back, one movie came called Student of the Year. So in that movie, we have one. That movie have one scene. So at that time, uh, they hide some of the flags or answer around the university, and they have told to team that you have to find this all the answers and you have to submit them. And for that, they will give you some points such as 10 points or 20 points like that. And those teams who will collect more points, they are the winners. So the same kind of game in cybersecurity we have. Okay, so let me tell you the types. So we have two types of CTF games. So the first one is the attack and defend. So as you can see the name attack and defend. So in that we have two teams. So the first team will do the attack and the second team will try to defend from the attacks. So this is how this type will work, and for that they will also give the points. And the second one, we have a Geopardy style CTF. So in this CTF, we have a different kind of task for each category. Like we have a web category, we have ocean category, we have a digital forensics, reverse engineering, networking categories there. So different categories we have, and for that we have different difficulty levels from easy to hard level, and for each level we have points such as 10 points, 15 points, 20 points, or 100 points, like that only, right? And now, if I talk about the India, so there are many well-known communities are there, which are organizations such as CTF events. So at that time, uh, if your team is in top 5 place or top 10 place, so sometimes you will get a certification voucher or any of the CTF platforms also, such as Hack the Box, Pentest Lab, like that only. So yes, CTF will also help you to sharp your skills, and it will help you to learn the cybersecurity concepts practically. So yes, always go through with CTF only. And yes, the CTF will also help you to get the job, because nowadays most of the companies are giving CTF challenges as a part of a technical assessment to test the candidate's skill set. So yes, this will help you. And for learning the CTF, you can go to these platforms called Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, CTF Learn, and cyberdefenders.org. So this Try Hack Me is a beginner-friendly platform, so you can go with that, because I personally found this Try Hack Me platform very good one, because in that you have a you have a challenge from the easy to hard level, and some challenges they will also guide you that how to perform those challenges, how to do that thing, and all. Right. And also they do have some premium membership plan. So if you are planning for that, so you can go with that. Okay. And you might be thinking that we do have on-site and offline and online events. So yes, for that you can go to this website called CTF Learn. So in the CTF Learn, they will publish all the lists that for which university or which community or organization CTF events. So you can take a participation in that events. So mostly the CTF events are free only, but for some events you have to pay the money like 100 to 200 rupees. That's okay for all of all of us. Okay, then after you can also follow some of the well-known content creators on YouTube, such as Insider PhD, the Cyber Mentor, and Sofcon, and all. And yes, if you are using a social media platforms such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, like that. So you can follow some of the hashtags, because the hashtag will also help you to get some of the good contents that will be automatically you will get in your feed only. So you can put the cybersecurity, bug bounty tips, bug bounty, ethical hacking, just like that tags, and you will get all the good content. Okay, then after, as an ethical hacker and cybersecurity researcher, you have to protect yourself also, right? So these all are the steps that you can do. So the first one is a create a strong password and don't share it with anyone. So always use a strong password that contains uppercase, lowercase letters, special characters, and the password should be more than 8 characters. So then only it will that then only we can assume that this is the strong password only. And check if the email sender is legitimate. Fraudster may spoof the identity. So yes, in website also we do have some vulnerability from which the attacker can send a phishing email. So always check the email before opening it, because sometimes they will also send you some malicious application or malicious links. So if you just open those links, your data will be in danger. Okay. And beware of email from the people or companies that you don't know. So always avoid such emails and calls and text messages. And do not click on links that is in any suspicious looking email or reply to them. So if you are using a Gmail, so most of the time it will directly give you the warning that might be this email contains some of these suspicious links. So always just mark those emails as a spam only. Always just delete those emails directly without opening it. Okay. And only give your personal information to the people and organization that you trust. So some people have a habit to go to random website and put their details. So just avoid such things, because sometimes if the website is not trustable, so at that time you will also lose your data. Like let's consider if you go to any of the newly created website and you are putting your debit card and credit card details, and the website have a very dangerous vulnerability. So at that time, some of the black attackers will dump all the data and they will also steal your data, right? So always avoid such things, right? Okay. And always use the website that have a padlock symbol. So what padlock symbol will indicate? It will indicate that website is a secure and that have a HTTPS implemented. So if the website on HTTP, so that website is not secure. Any of the hackers will, spoof your data and they will see all the details in clear text. So that is also website vulnerability. and avoid using public computers and Wi-Fi for internet banking. So sometimes what people will do, they will go to the cyber cafe and they will log in their banking accounts and they will try to log out their account. So at that time, you will also lose your money and sometimes your data. Okay. Then keep your computer security software up to date. So whenever you will get an update from the Microsoft, if you are using a Windows operating system, so always update it because most of the time they will send you a security patch only because as we all are doing as all the security researcher are testing Windows operating system, so they will found some loophole and they have reported. So the Microsoft will patch those vulnerability and they will send the security patch to all of their users. So always update your operating system to make your laptop and PC secure from the hackers. Okay, then after you can also follow me on my social media profiles. I am available on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and this is also my blog link. So if you want to read my blog, so you can go to this website. Okay. So that's it from my side. So if you have any questions, so